Picture this, you're lying awake at 3 a.m., replaying every conversation, every moment, wondering where it all went wrong. Your chest feels hollow, your mind races between anger and desperate hope, and you can't imagine ever feeling whole again. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Research shows that 85% of people experience at least one devastating breakup in their lifetime, and what you're feeling isn't weakness. Neuroimaging studies reveal that heartbreak activates the same brain regions as physical pain, literally proving that love lost hurts as much as a broken bone. Today, we'll explore the hidden science behind why breakups hurt so deeply, and more importantly, how to guide yourself through this darkness toward genuine healing, regardless of your relationship history, identity, or cultural background. 4 core wounds when any meaningful relationship ends, whether it lasted 3 months or 30 years. Whether you're 18 or 80, you're not dealing with just one type of pain. You're experiencing what trauma specialists call accumulated psychological injury across 4 fundamental human needs. 1. Connection wound link. We're biologically wired for attachment from birth. When we lose our primary emotional bond, our nervous system treats it like a survival threat. The amygdala fires distress signals identical to those triggered by physical danger. The person who knew your fears, dreams, and daily routines has vanished from your life, leaving a connection void that evolution designed us to fear. 2. Autonomy wound direct hit. Perhaps the most overlooked aspect. When someone ends your relationship, your sense of personal agency shatters. This wasn't your choice. You've been subjected to a life-altering decision with no control over the outcome, triggering what psychologists call learned helplessness and deep feelings of vulnerability. 3. Self-worth wound. Broken heart breakups activate our harshest inner critic through a process called rejection sensitivity. Questions flood in. What's wrong with me? Why wasn't I enough? Am I unlovable? These aren't just passing thoughts, they're direct attacks on your fundamental sense of worthiness, often reactivating childhood wounds around acceptance and belonging. 4. Pleasure wound. Your brain associated your ex with reward and joy through dopamine pathways. Now, those same neural circuits fire with emptiness instead of happiness. You're literally experiencing withdrawal from the neurochemical cocktail of love, explaining why you might feel physically sick, unable to eat, or craving contact like an addiction. Understanding these 4 wounds helps normalize your experience. You're not being dramatic, you're processing genuine psychological trauma that requires time, patience, and evidence-based healing strategies. Phase 1. Seeking truth over comfort. The first instinct after a breakup is to demand answers. Why did this happen? Sometimes you'll get an explanation. Often you won't. Sometimes the explanation makes sense. Often it doesn't. Here's what matters more than their words. You were there. You witnessed the relationship unfold. Trust your own perception. Your honest analysis instead of endlessly replaying their reasons. Conduct your own investigation using what therapists call radical acceptance. What did your ex contribute to the relationship dynamics? What did you contribute, both positive and problematic? Which relationship issues fell within your sphere of influence, which were completely outside your control? This isn't about assigning blame, it's about reclaiming your narrative and identifying what you can actually influence moving forward. Phase 2, the liberation of letting go. This next part might feel counterintuitive, but it's crucial for your healing and backed by decades of attachment research. You must accept that vast portions of your relationship's problems were outside your control. Your ex's attachment style formed in early childhood, core beliefs about love, unresolved trauma, self-esteem patterns. Emotional regulation strategies. These deep psychological factors shaped your relationship's trajectory, yet none of them were yours to fix or manage. The death of false hope. As you internalize this truth, you might feel something dying inside you, the hope of reconciliation. Let it die. This hope, while natural and human, becomes psychological quicksand that keeps you stuck in what researchers call ambiguous loss, grieving someone who's still alive but emotionally unavailable. When you cling to the fantasy that you could have done something different to save the relationship, your mind tricks you into believing the breakup was 100% your responsibility. This illusion of control feels temporarily comforting. If it was all your fault, then you have all the power to fix it. Right, wrong. This thinking leads straight to shame spirals, obsessive self-criticism, and the destructive belief that you're fundamentally unlovable. Phase 3. Seeing clearly. Stop idealizing your ex. Part of healthy processing involves removing what psychologists call rosy retrospection bias, our tendency to remember past experiences more positively than they actually were. This doesn't mean becoming bitter or hateful. It means seeing your ex as a complete human being with flaws, limitations, and their own unresolved issues. Ask yourself honestly, what red flags did you overlook or rationalize? Which of their traits initially attracted you but actually reflected deeper problems? How did their unhealed wounds contribute to the relationship's challenges? Often we're drawn to people whose confidence masks deep insecurities, whose independence reflects commitment phobia, or whose mystery actually indicates emotional unavailability. Recognizing these patterns without judgment protects you from repeating them in future connections. Taking action from passive to powerful. The most transformative shift you can make is moving from passive victim to active agent of your own healing. This is where real recovery begins. Create clear boundaries, physical boundaries, if you live together. Initiate the practical separation conversation, collect belongings and return theirs, enlist a friend's help if needed. Avoid places you're likely to encounter them temporarily. Not forever. Digital boundaries. Unfollow on all social media platforms. No exceptions. Block their number if you find yourself texting impulsively. Delete photos from your phone's main album. Save them elsewhere if you must know. Digital stalking or checking their activity through mutual friends. Emotional boundaries. Recognize when your mind is spinning fantasies of reunion. Interrupt obsessive what if thinking with grounding techniques. 5 4 3 2 1 sensory method. Refuse to analyze every past interaction for hidden meanings. Set a daily grief time, 15 minutes to feel everything. Then consciously shift focus. Evidence-based healing activities. Reconnection, attachment repair. Schedule regular time with friends and family who truly see you. Join communities aligned with your interests and values. Consider volunteering or mentoring. Helping others heals your own wounds. Practice vulnerability with trusted people to rebuild your capacity for intimacy restoration. Nervous system reset. Engage in physical movement that feels good to your body, not punishment exercise. Spend time in nature. Research shows 20 minutes outdoors significantly reduces cortisol. Prioritize sleep hygiene and nutrition to support emotional regulation. Try breathwork, meditation, or yoga to calm your activated nervous system. Renewal, identity reconstruction. Explore creative expressions that connect you to joy. Learn something new that builds competence and confidence. Consider therapy, EMDR, somatic therapy, or cognitive behavioral approaches are particularly effective for relationship trauma. Begin journaling to process emotions and track your healing progress. Envisioning your future as the acute pain begins to subside, typically 2-6 months for most people. Start dreaming again. Not about getting your ex back, but about the life you want to create. Reflection questions. What kind of partner do you want to attract and become? What relationship patterns are you ready to outgrow? How do you want to feel in your daily life? What experiences are you excited to have? What version of yourself wants to emerge from this experience? Your breakup, as painful as it is, can become what post-traumatic growth researchers call a seismic event, a catalyst for profound personal evolution that leaves you more resilient, wise, and authentically yourself. Special considerations if you're neurodivergent. Breakups can feel especially intense due to differences in emotional processing. Be extra patient with yourself and consider working with neurodivergent affirming therapists. If you're LGBTQ+, relationship loss may trigger additional grief around acceptance, chosen family, or community belonging. Seek support from affirming communities and professionals. If you're from collectivist cultures, the pressure to get over it or prioritize family opinions about relationships can complicate healing. Honor both your individual needs and cultural values. If this was an abusive relationship, your healing journey may require specialized trauma-informed support. Contact domestic violence resources for guidance tailored to your specific situation. Final thoughts. The gift hidden in the pain. Healing from a breakup isn't about getting over someone or moving on as quickly as possible. It's about integrating this experience in a way that makes you wiser, more self-aware, and better prepared for authentic love in the future. The research is clear. People who do the deep work after relationship loss often report higher life satisfaction, better relationship skills, and stronger self-esteem than before the breakup. Your pain has purpose. The person you become through this process, more grounded, more discerning, more self-compassionate, will be capable of deeper, healthier connections than ever before. You're not broken, you're breaking open, and what emerges will be stronger and more beautiful than what came before. Your healing matters, your growth matters, you matter. Connect and continue the journey if this resonated with you. I'd love to continue supporting your healing journey. Subscribe for more psychology-backed insights on relationships, personal growth, and emotional wellness.